And we are live. What's happening,
Yo,
everybody? What's
yo,
going on?
what's up?
What's going on?
Got some things happening, man. We back with another episode.
We are.
First episode of Black History Month.
Hey, shout out Black History Month.
This is for the. Oh wait, no. Coop, you know what I was about to say?
No,
Putting out Black
but that's
History
why
Month facts for this.
that's why I laughed, because I was like, wait, I don't know what the next part of that sentence is going to be.
Yeah,
Happy
Oh man.
belated February 1.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. Happy belated February 1 to all my Aggies, all our Aggies out there.
And happy birthday 1993. We're 3 years old today.
Oh word.
Hey, shout
Happy
out
birthday.
1993.
I was trying to launch on February 1, but Shopify and I were beefing that day, so it ain't happening. I launched on February 2nd. Still not happening. It is what it is.
It is.
Is what it is.
Still got to it, man. What's happening though? What so our show today is going to be pretty concise. We got a few topics. Somebody, what is it we got for the folks today? Of course, if you saw the thumbnail,
We're talking about Last of Us. There's 3 episodes out so far. So we're gonna get into what we like, what we don't like, what we want to see, talk about our favorite moments. My laptop is making mad noise. Sorry.
Folks, what up?
And then James Gunn put out a statement, said some things, so we're gonna get into them things. And Avatar broke a few more records since the last time you saw us.
Where I saw a few little highlights about that, but
I want to say it's the number 4 highest grossing movie of all time now.
oh okay.
Wow.
They go James not James James Cameron. I was about to say James Gunn.
I can find
Wrong James. Man,
Yeah,
that man
James Cameron knows how to make a blockbuster.
I know, right? It's in his
DNA.
Oh, it crossed 2 billion. And it made, so I guess we could talk about this since there's not that much new news on it, but Avatar: The Way of Water crossed $2 billion, and it made Zoe Saldana the only actor with 4 movies to accomplish that.
Yeah, word. So that's I did see that stat about the about Zoe Saldana. That's quite a quite a feat.
That's a feat.
It passed Infinity War. I don't think it had passed Infinity War, our last show, but it is now in 4th place.
Zoe Saldana and James Cameron, is that the new Hollywood director actor pair?
I guess so. It's 2 back-to-back. It's 2 movies, same franchise.
I guess.
Common denominator.
Hey,
then like she's got
third
this
movie.
Thing is making bank right now. That's
she's making. She's got some blockbusters to her name. That's for sure.
You think she gets backhand off Avatar?
No, I don't think that. I think they just got paid.
I wonder if they got backhand off the first one.
Nah, they got paid.
Dang. That would be a nice movie to have some backhand on. I'm just saying.
It would be
like what the getting her a percentage.
I'm
pretty sure. I thought usually the top billed actors get a small percentage. It's not that. Even. I don't think it's like a full percent, but it's like it's 8%. If I do recall correctly.
That boy Steve, what's up?
That boy Steve, the Uncool, Jamil, Raheem, Hawks Holocron, what's happening?
So what we diving into first? What y'all?
Let's get into The Last of Us. Let's get into the discussion.
The best adaptation to date.
Adaptation as
like
point
ever?
Blank ever. Not
of a video game. I'm gonna say.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. Like, is it?
I feel like it's up there.
It is up there.
I'd say it's one of the best adaptations in general, point blank, period.
I would say it's top 5. I would say it's top 5. I still feel like I think Lord of the Rings, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is like still
that's number 1.
Like all 3 of those movies. Then I would say this is definitely a close. It's probably like right behind it in number 4, in the number 4 spot.
So you're counting each of those movies individually.
Oh yeah.
I see that as one whole movie because that's how he filmed it.
Yeah, true. But it's 3 books. So it's 3 different movies.
Facts.
I'll take your word for it. I'm an avid reader, and I always complain when like my favorite book is made into a movie. Like it just doesn't matter. I've never been satisfied. There's always something wrong. Like the most recent disappointment was Dune. There's a lot of stuff. The original Dune movie that came out is hot garbage. I turned it off. I'll never do it. The most recent one, I just feel why it can't be hot garbage?
It was though. It doesn't age well.
It's a hot garbage classic, okay? And I didn't have anything to go off, but then I read the book. I was like, well, how did they get that from this? I didn't see it. I can see how they got the new movie from the book, but it's still there was a lot lost in translation. So I'm gonna take your word for it because I always complain about that type of stuff. Like it's hard to just sit back and enjoy it. Speaking
of Dune, I think there's an MMO based in the Dune universe out, or it's in development. I can't remember. I think there's a video. It's called Spice Wars. I don't know if that's out or not. I need to look that up because I think that's what I'm thinking about. But anyway, that's a rich
yeah, you're right, story. Steve. But the movie's still great.
There's a movie series that got it right, but y'all gonna call me corny for saying this.
Oh man,
y'all gonna call me corny?
What is it?
Got what right?
No, you gotta tell me before I say it whether or not you gonna call me a lame.
No, scratch. Not on air.
Oh, okay. The Twilight movies was pretty accurate compared to the books. Oh. They were straight across. There was no problem there.
I didn't know where you.
Okay. Are we talking accuracy? Or are we talking just best adaptation?
I mean, as far as the book go, I don't think you could really get a better adaptation. They put on the screen exactly what was in that book. They'd have to completely switch the book up to do better. So I'm not going to say it's the world's greatest movies, but as far as the book to the movie goes, it was pretty on point. I don't think they could do better.
I cannot confirm or deny.
Don't read the book for me, y'all.
Isn't that just isn't that fanfic of in the book? Aren't the books fanfic of Underworld?
No.
I don't think that don't sound right.
I thought that's what the is for. I think I thought I remember somebody. I thought Imani, you told me that.
No, I told you that all of the movies coming out were fanfic of Twilight. So the Hunger Games series was fan fiction of Twilight. The 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey is Twilight fan fiction. I'm gonna say how corny I am because I read it when it was fan fiction, and then I went to go see 50 Shades of Grey in the movie before I had read the book, and I was like, "Yo, why do I know this like line for line, word for word?" And then I went and Googled and found out that it was fan fiction that I read already.
Hey yo,
what JBM?
When you said that, it just reminded me of the Soulja Boy Breakfast Club interview.
What did I say?
Shit, word for word, line for line,
bar for bar.
bar.
I was in the movie theater like, yo, I've noticed already, but they had changed the name because it was fan fiction, so they just put it out as a book and just changed the name of all the characters. But if you watch 50 Shades of Grey, the whole shebang, it's Twilight.
It stole my whole flow.
And that's why the creator of Twilight stopped writing the books because she got mad that everybody was making money off of her joint. That boy Steve, leave me alone. I do not have a Twilight tattoo. If I got a tattoo,
I did not see Annihilation.
Tattoo first. Annihilation was good. I didn't know that was an adaptation of something. Maybe it's a book. It's uncool. I did not know that.
Anyway, we got real sidetracked there. Back to
we did. Sorry, we talking about Last of Us. Yeah.
Last of Us. Yeah.
Do we want to rate it? Do we want to rate the first 3 episodes? Do we want to rate the episodes individually?
We can rate. I'll rate all 3 together.
Yeah, I'd say, man, first 3 episodes are fantastic. Like 10 out of 10. 10 scoops of
Hmm.
gumbo for me. Like fantastic. I have not read the books or played the games, but I've bought into this world, and I feel
You
like
haven't played the game?
no, I haven't played the games.
Oh yeah, you gotta get on that.
So
I've
like,
watched gameplay. It's scary.
yeah, I'm familiar enough. Like I've seen other people play it. I've not played it myself. And but that being said, as far as the content goes, it's been fantastic world building, story building, character development in the first
Yeah.
3 episodes. Like not having any type of expectations as someone who's not been involved in that universe. Like I have grown attached to these characters all within, I mean, within the first episode. Like that first episode was fantastic. That was a great start to
And
the
that intro is exactly how the game gets introduced.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Pedro Pascal for being, he's now the new Hollywood dad.
Yo, he surprised me. I did not expect him to be a good Joel. He knocked it out the park.
I think I'm gonna give it 10 scoops of gumbo too. Everything was fantastic about the episodes, but I judge horror, especially monster horror, on how they prep us for the story, or not just the prep, but also like help us understand the state of things. I think I said this in the Discord. They told us how the zombies came to be. They explained how it spreads. They explained the science behind the fungus. They explained the time well. It's very, very clear how we got from the first infected person to
Hmm.
now. I don't have any questions. I understand everything completely. The only scene that I had some confusion on was the kiss. But the
Oh, with the tentacles, the
yeah.
little
But one of the directors actually came out and explained that. But I'm not even mad that I questioned that. It was
that
just a
was the mycelium, right?
I was in my house screaming. Dude, oh, that was some ooh, that's
Yeah,
gonna haunt me
that
for a while. That was nasty.
yeah, that's the icky part. It was like, oh, the
And I was like, yo,
mycelium
I was like, you just
in
gonna
there.
stand there and let him do it. But
Hey, she probably couldn't resist it. It probably was like, sit here, take this mycelium.
I'm sorry. So what one of, it was either a writer or director explained is that the virus just wants to spread, and it wants to spread in the easiest way possible. If someone is running away from it, then one of the zombies, or I'll call them clickers, whatever, they will run to it to catch them. But because she was just standing there and she chose, they emphasize that she chose not to fight back, the easiest way for it to spread was exactly what we saw on screen. It did not have to run up and bite her, even though she had previously been bitten. It didn't have to do that. It saw her, it chose to spread it, and that was the method of spreading that it chose. So that was probably like the only thing that was questionable. But also, he did not have to provide that answer to us either. He could have just left us, and we could have been in the house screaming, "Ew, this is nasty," for real. Because I know I was. But 10 out of 10, it was fantastic. And that last episode really had me crying. I wasn't expecting anything like that from a show like this.
Yeah, yeah, same. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for all the reasons y'all mentioned.
Yeah, I was listening while I was away, but that I agree with everything that was said. Those, I like how they've explained the spread of the virus to, well, not the, it's not a virus, but the spread of the fungi and the mycelial network. Um,
Yeah.
like the science behind it is very sound and explained very well. Like it's, I like how they tell the history briefly with the conversations between Ellie and Joel of her being so young and not having experienced the world prior to this pandemic. Um, I don't I don't know if that's how it's done in the video game or how they explain like kind of sort of the backstory of it all in the history leading up to the to where you start. But I think how they handle it in the show, at least, is very well executed, because I think it's a conversation piece that they can use to create a bond between the characters, and I thought that it was a excellent use. Well done, writing on their part to do that.
Yeah, writing's been excellent. Storytelling and writing. And I like how they designed the fungi. Like every art design in every scene is dope.
Yeah, and isn't the original
You want to talk
the
about
game
that?
developer? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. The game developer also heavily involved in the writing and the direction of the show.
Yes.
Yeah,
Do
Of
I
y'all
the
think
show
he's
and the game.
credited as like a director or something like that.
do y'all
Yeah,
watch the
that's a
show on HBO
fantastic.
Max?
Yeah,
Yeah.
On HBO Max, after every episode, they'll have like 7 minutes of behind the scenes, and some of the gentlemen that they are interviewing are the original writers of the game and creators of the game. So,
Oh,
and in
look at
fact, the decision to have this last episode about Bill and Frank was the original creator's decision, and he actually said that that was the furthest deviation that they are going to go away from the game, but they just
that.
wanted
Was
to give
pretty
them
far
that moment.
deviation, but
But
it worked.
I didn't want to bring up that conversation we were having earlier, Coop, but this is like low key in there because the young lady who played Sarah is the daughter of Thandie Newton, or Thandiwe Newton, as her name should be properly pronounced. Her name is Sarah Miller, and they're so stressed about it. This girl is only 1/4 Black. Shout out to our genes because they showing up strong. You wouldn't be able to tell by looking at her, but I mean, biologically or DNA wise, she's more white than Black. So people just want something to complain about.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I would say don't pay attention to that noise.
it's crazy that's like it's so rampant in every, well, it's not rampant, but it happens in every single fandom, like, and the internet just amplifies it, because like, I mean,
Internet create a loudspeaker
we've seen it
anytime.
with Marvel, DC, Star Wars, like everything. I mean, Avatar, like everybody's got issues with people of color playing these roles in a fictional universe. Like it's crazy. Um, but I mean, it's more that's the internet, man. That's just what people do. Like, I think a lot of it is just that they know that they can get attention by, I don't believe that they believe half the stuff that they say and send out and put out there in the on the internet. They just know people are going to react to it, and they get off on it, and they get a lot of attention from it, and that's really what they want. Or at least that's my take on it. Like, I don't, it's hard. I've been dealing, like growing up in the internet age, and like on online gaming, like it's only so much that you can take serious on the internet, because like at the end of the day, you're gonna say all that stuff behind a computer screen, but you probably wouldn't say any of that in person.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Shout out to that boy Steve.
Yeah, it's pointless. Also, it not to bring it back around to us, but it kind of makes the skin tone discussion kind of, or the colorism conversation kind of moot, because it literally does not matter how light you are. Still,
Yeah.
it just doesn't matter. So for us to be fighting over this between ourselves, when that's how, the outside world views us regardless of skin tone, is crazy.
Exactly. Well said.
It's Black History Month.
Exactly.
So we're gonna be happy about it.
Anyway, but yeah.
So 10 scoops all across the board. I don't think that's happened before on any gumbo ranking. A unanimous 10.
Wait, so now I think that's we got a commercial break. Who's the sponsor for tonight?
Oh Lord.
JBM. Who's our official sponsor?
It's Black History Month.
It's Black History Month
Black
too.
History Month. On screen, fam. It's Black History Month. I got some things.
T-Mobile Tuesdays.
T-Mobile Tuesdays. All right, tell us about T-Mobile Tuesdays.
Hey, if you got T-Mobile and it's a Tuesday, you get special rewards. It's a
Okay.
little lamp for your laptop. It's out of charge right now, but you charge it with a USB mini.
Oh, that's what's up.
I got some things. Since we're talking about Black people. Well, first of all, I own a business.
I was about to say,
Beauty.com. If you ashy shop with
Mhm.
me, if you're not ashy, will stay not ashy, continue to shop with me. Other Black businesses, Face by Clarity Cosmetics. It's a Black-owned makeup brand out of Houston.
Mm.
I like it a lot. I'm wearing the blush. Got a little bit of this eyeshadow on right now. And then shout out Rihanna, keeping us fly at all times. Thank you. Oh, Hair by Noel, New York in Brooklyn. Thank you very much. Although the curls coming back soon, y'all. We're just taking a little break. It's cold outside, but I'm not gonna lie, I miss it. I feel boring with my hair like this. So that boy Steve, I do appreciate you, but the curls are gonna come back. You should see him next time. And if you don't, it's because I got mad lazy. That's just it. There's nothing, no other reason about it. Oh, thanks.
link in the chat.
Thanks.
Yeah, link in the chat.
Go buy some product.
Oh yeah, and shout out to the Prince of Pan Africanism. I donated $20 to his school today, and he didn't talk bad about me while he was live on TikTok.
Oh man,
We talking about two more. Oh yeah.
You ever
Talking
see those
about
videos where he's like, he's talking and somebody will have donated? He was like, "Thank you, sister. We know you only had that. Next time, make it $30." I was like, "Oh, like dang, son. Like, what if she really didn't have it?" You had to
that
go
man.
there. But yeah,
That man be out of pocket, yo.
yes.
Too much. All
Yeah.
right.
Else on Last of Us, that was kind of short. We didn't know.
I mean, 3 episodes in, it's how many episodes is it going to be total? 8.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
on
know.
HBO.
I'm curious to
assuming
know
it's like
where
8 to 10.
they end at.
I
Yeah.
heard that this first season is supposed to be the complete first game. I don't know how true that is, but then there will be a second season for the second game. So, and then there could potentially be another game in the works, and if there is, maybe there'd be a third season for that. I don't know how true that is, though.
So there's 9 episodes in this one.
Okay.
So we just finished the first wave, first arc.
And each episode is about an hour and a half. Like they're pretty long. Like the first episode was like an hour and a half. Like that was a mini movie. If you haven't seen it, it's on HBO Max. So definitely, it's got horror elements. I wouldn't say that this is horror. I would say it's horror elements, but it's not like hardcore horror. But there will be some like jump scares.
That's expressed.
Yeah. It's some high intense moments and monsters. So like if you don't know, the monsters are basically a different take on zombies. That's the best way I can compare them. But definitely check it out. Yeah. Parasites. Yeah.
JBM, I have a question. Is Ellie gonna be stupid the whole show? Was she like this in the game? Because she getting on my nerves bad. Like real bad.
Yeah, she was a little hard to handle in the first game, bumping heads, her and Joel. She wasn't as tough as she comes across in this show. She gets tougher towards the end. Yeah.
She's stressing me out. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see her, and I don't think you should be kids, but she just needs to be shook just a little bit. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on now. I'm trying to keep you alive, and she's just not. Yeah. He's trying to kill herself while he's trying to deliver her somewhere. It's making.
I'd say she's a little more cooperative in the game. Just a little bit.
I think she has to be though in the game though, because it's only so much. From an NPC standpoint, at the end of the day, like you got a game to play. Like she can't be too like combative.
Yeah. They spruced some things up for her character, but she still works. I like her as Elle.
She's entering Joffrey territory.
Oh.
Wow. That's pretty extreme.
You only got 2 times. Like, the thing is, they're in dire circumstances. So just listen to me so I can keep you alive. It's not like, everything is cool and she's just a normal teenager who's going through, adolescent rebellion. No, like it's zombies out here. It's people that could try to kill you. Just don't go in the freaky basement by yourself and like, come on now. Let's not do that stuff.
There was one moment I didn't like when she started yelling at Joe for taking her away from what's the woman's name? After the woman got bit, she was gonna stay back and make sure that they could escape safely from the horde that was coming.
Oh yeah. In the first episode.
Second episode. End of the second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I forget her name. His partner.
Tess.
Yeah, Tess was bit. She told him to move on. She'll stay behind, and he grabbed Elle, and she was like, "Nah, keep me with Tess." It's like that don't make no sense.
That don't make
no sense at all. It was just for to keep the tension high. Yeah. Outside of that, though, that was the only like crazy moment.
That boy Steve says they're debating making Last of Us 3 because the ending of 2 was
played
so
Last of Us 2. I heard what happens in it though. Disappointed in that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Do y'all know what happens in The Last of Us 2?
I've only watched
I won't say nothing.
Fights, game scenes. I don't even know how.
Is this on PC? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
I have no idea.
I'll look it up on them. Yeah, I'll look it up on Steam. It might be on Steam, but go ahead, Money. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't even know how the first season ends. I never finished the game, but I have checked it out.
Yeah, I might check out the game, see if it's on Steam, I'll get it for sure. Because it's
play the intro at first, and then you'll have a whole new appreciation for the season 1 opening.
Was it like it's pretty spot on with what happened in the opening of the game? That's dope. I love that. Get it in,
even some of it down to the exact words that they said in the game.
So I did notice because I've not played the game, but I noticed how the way they directed it felt like how they direct cinematics in video games. So I'd imagine that a lot of that was very accurate because it felt very much like a video game to me. Like watching it play out was like, this feels like a video game cutscene. Like this is like I was really curious to see how the fans would react to that first episode because I was watching it and I'm like, yo, this direction feels like a cinematic video game type of feeling. So it definitely it definitely caught my attention. It caught my eye, and I think a lot of people who aren't up on video games, like especially modern video games, may not understand how cinematic and how much performance goes into these video games now. Like they are on par with video games and TVs. Yeah, like it's without question it is. You have to put them in the same conversation as TV shows and movies because there's a lot of video games that have better written stories than a lot of movies and TV shows that get written today. So as far as I'm concerned, and animation, like animation, video games, television, movies, all of that, like the amount of talent that is behind the scenes working on this stuff now is like on par. And a lot of them work, in video games, TV, movies, they move back and forth between them. So like it's not the days of Pong and those days are long gone. Like we got really good storytelling. Like if somebody could pull off like a God of War series, that would be fantastic. Like if there's any studio that could do God of War, I think it would be HBO. Like I feel like they would get the drama right.
Since we're mentioning adaptations and just games with really good stories, I had to go into the office this week and I was talking to my IT guy about Last of Us, and he was telling me about other games that are more like stories that you could sit back and enjoy. Like, yeah, you can play the game, but the story is really good. And he mentioned The Quarry and recommended that I watch the gameplay of that game. So I will be checking that out too.
The
Shout out to
Quarry. What's that?
The Quarry. I have no idea. It was on Tuesday. He told me to check that out, but he said it's a game that has a really, really good story. Said the story is interesting. He told me to watch the gameplay of it or just watch like the full thing from beginning to end, because I don't really have the hand-eye coordination. If the controller is here and the TV is there, I'm not going to do well. Like it has to be all one. Like I can handle the Twitch, I can handle if they could bring PSPs back, I would do well there because everything is close. The TV and the controller is too much for me. I like horror. He did tell me that because I told him I enjoyed horror and it was scary, but he said that it has a really, really good story to it too. That's enjoyable. But I mean, if I'm in the house screaming, I'll turn it off. You don't have to worry about that. And you know what? I'll watch it. I'll try to watch it, and then 2 weeks from now, I'll let y'all know if I cried or not.
Mm-hmm. Rockstar, I feel like, is another studio that makes really good could be adaptable content. Like I would say Red Dead Redemption would be a really good series, possibly, like potentially that I could see making it to like a TV show. Like I don't know about Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto would be really tough because it's
all over the place.
It's all over the place. Like
not a good
I don't see that being a good property to adapt. But Red Dead Redemption 2, that's a story that you could definitely adapt into some sort of TV show because it's far more linear and narrative driven than Grand Theft Auto is. Grand Theft Auto is very much a sandbox in many ways. There's a story there, but the story isn't really it's not really the crown jewel of that franchise. It is all that you can do in the game. But Red Dead is one of those things that's like, yeah, this could be adopted. I feel like if the right studio were to pick it up.
Have y'all seen Free Guy?
Free Guy with
Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
An NPC character in a game that kind of becomes self-aware and wants to like play the game for himself. A Grand Theft Auto movie like that would be really like
that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be a fun ride.
You're technically still in the game. It's not its own thing. That way, just you could have the crazy police chases and do all types of crap. That would be really cool. A really cool take on that.
What was that movie where the way they shot it, you can only see it like first person view?
Gamer?
No, it wasn't Gamer. It was almost like a Jason Statham type of movie.
Oh,
that was on Netflix. I forget what it's called.
Hardcore Henry?
I think that was it. Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry.
Oh, Hardcore Henry. Hardcore. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I saw that in theaters. That was a hard watch. In the theater, it was making me dizzy. Henry was doing the damn thing. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what are these? Are these cookies?
These are crackers.
Oh, they are quite crunchy.
I want to know why our show is called The Cookout, but I'm the only one that's ever eaten. Ain't that crazy?
I don't think that's crazy at all.
I don't think it's crazy at all either.
I do not want
I want to know what y'all eating tonight. Put it in the chat. What you eating? What's for dinner?
All right, let's have a left conversation. Y'all don't get nervous before we come on camera, like at all?
Mm-mm.
Cool, you don't get nervous?
No, I don't get nervous.
I don't care how many episodes we do. I get butterflies. I don't need to eat. I've made that mistake a couple times and I was suffering the whole show. So no.
You mean you like Putin?
Listen, don't worry about what happens, okay? Just know I don't eat before we go on air. In fact, I usually don't eat for like hours beforehand, and then after the show, I'm always starving. That's why I'm always leaving y'all or making a plate, because after the show, I'm hungry. But no, I will not be eating on camera. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta eat. I like
I always eat before, but I always eat like around 4 or 5, like at the latest 6. So it's just routine habit. Like
It'll
that's
keep
just
you.
how it doesn't matter. Like basic, because that's even so. Even if I'm working, that's usually the time I get off and I can go and get some food. So I'm always hungry around that time. So I go eat. I don't even think about anything else. It's just habit.
I wasn't gonna say it, but that boy Steve asked, "Are you eating
He
crackers like
initiated.
every month?"
these Ritz too. He's got the bad ingredients in them.
What's wrong with Ritz?
The ingredient list.
I've never read the ingredient list of any cracker I've ever eaten.
There's a good brand of crackers. I forget the name of it, but they sell them in Harris Teeter.
My mind just made like a crazy joke of you saying there's a good brand of crackers. Like sometimes I be thinking I could be a really good stand-up comic because they come so easy. But no, I won't be doing it. I won't.
That's funny. I'm holding in laughs.
Okay, back to the conversation. Did we finish talking about Last of Us? Oh, who's your favorite character? We get off Last of Us. Favorite and least favorite characters.
Joel, easily.
Joel, yeah. I kind of like Tess too. I liked how she portrayed Jess.
Yeah,
Jess.
I like
What's her name?
Tess.
Tess.
Yeah, I like the dynamic between those two. I don't know. I like the character dynamic so far. I think I haven't had an issue with any of the characters. They've done a really good job with character development with the story, and like in a short amount of time, informing you about the characters, giving you a solid amount of background on them, and then also, you know, creating stakes, and then creating these moments where you don't know what's going to happen, like because I just like I've enjoyed the writing of the show thus far. Like it has been very entertaining. And that episode 3, like I had no idea where that was going, but that was like one of the best episodes that I've seen. Not for the show, but just like I had no idea. Like I felt like there was going to be tragedy, but it actually didn't end up in tragedy, and I think that was a nice. To me, I felt like
it was a tragic ending.
I thought
that was beautiful.
Yeah, I thought the
like
ending
a beautiful tragedy, though. I mean, it still involved suicide.
What of all the ways that they could have gone out, like that was probably the best result for the both of them, because like they basically spent the better part of their life. Well, a good portion of it was like
16 years.
16 years together.
Mm-hmm.
And
because he found them 4 years after the event happened.
Right. And so like to me, I was like, I'm thinking because they could have got eaten by the monsters, the raiders, like a whole bunch of anything could have happened. And like to me, that was probably the best outcome for them, because they did it on their own terms.
Yeah.
And so it's still tragic, but at least it was
best case scenario.
A best case scenario. Like they had control over how it ended.
And it wasn't a Romeo and Juliet tragedy. Like they got to, live their lives out together. And Frank was suffering, and a lot of people living lives like that, even without the apocalypse, don't want to do that. We hear these stories of people all the time who are bedridden, who can't do for themselves anymore, and they're not happy to live that way. And, they kind of, some take their lives, or some, speak out about wanting to, because they're not happy with living that way. And Frank said, I can't do it. And Bill said, well, you ain't gonna leave me by myself. So this is just how we're gonna do this. Frank was my favorite character because it's the apocalypse, and in my opinion, he didn't have that many skills, I mean, he could garden, but it was a little iffy. And he rolled up and found a man with mad guns, a house. He had a car. Okay, he had a whole city to himself, and was like, "Yeah, that's the one. I'm gonna keep you." And that's exactly what he did. That was quite smart on Frank's part. Quite intelligent, and his man could sing, and his man could cook. Like, that was a come up for Frank, for real. I think a lot of people should take notes from Frank.
Yo, Frank told him to take a shower.
That was hilarious.
But
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
But Frank sealed the deal, and Bill was like, "All right, you can stay. We could be a lover, whatever." Boom, happiness.
yeah, I thought the direction was gonna go and like this. He finds random people throughout the years, and they repopulate the town to a sense, kind of like Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
I'm happy that's not what happened, and I'm not gonna lie. This makes The Walking Dead look even worse. The Walking Dead was amazing for a while, and then it just started to go downhill. But the more I think back on it, the main character, Rick from The Walking Dead, I don't know if y'all watched it, but Rick made a lot of bad decisions. Everywhere Rick went, people died because of his decision making all the time, and it didn't have to be that way. Like, I'll never forget the couple seasons before Negan. These people are living in this town by themselves, safe and happy, and Rick and his people come along. Now damn near everybody that was there before he got there is dead now. So I mean, I guess that's what happened in the comics too, but I don't know. It's just nice to have another example of a zombie show go a different way.
Yeah. Very grounded in story, and yeah, I appreciate that about it.
Yeah, I think in the end, speaking of the Walking Dead, I feel like part of the reason why that show kind of tanked in the end was because it was just, there was a totality of just mistakes and bad decisions in every facet of that show, to where it's just like, why am I watching this?
Told a lot of the story out of order, so that lost a lot of the fan base there from the jump.
Yeah, so
did y'all? How far did y'all get?
I think I stopped at season 5.
I got when the son met his maker.
Yo, why did they do that?
Yeah, that seemed completely random.
That was like,
he probably took a job somewhere else.
That's when I stopped watching that. And I'm not gonna lie, the freaking tiger, it's a tiger. Y'all saw the tiger get jacked up?
Oh, the tiger! Yeah, when they started eating the tiger up.
It was an entire tiger coop, not like some little baby tiger, a tiger, and he got taken down by zombies. That didn't make no sense. The tiger.
There was only a few of them too.
Exactly. He looked like a regular house cat that got scared. It was like, come on, son, that's a whole tiger. That's when I should have stopped watching, because that was before the Carl situation.
Nah, so I'd stopped before this because I didn't see Carl meet his end. I don't see nothing. I don't remember nothing about a tiger either.
The prison, that whole prison thing threw me off.
With everybody getting the flu, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed that. That was a crazy thing. Like, there was like a virus going around, and like people just were going to sleep and not waking up and becoming zombies. I actually thought that part of the jail part was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The governor, I didn't really like the governor like that. I felt like that was too much. It was like 3 seasons of the governor. That,
and then them the cannibals at Tartarus. Wait,
cool. Cannibals on that opening episode from like season 6.
I don't remember cannibals.
You don't remember the black dudes?
They had their heads on the table about to chop them off.
Tainted meat. Shout out, no, JBM knows.
I'm trying to tell you, I tapped out of that show kind of early.
It was a black character who everybody loved, who got taken by these cannibals, and they cut his leg off, kept him alive so that he could heal, so they could just eat off of him. And they cooked his leg and was eating it, and didn't realize that he had gotten bitten. So When he finally revealed to, because they was eating his leg in front of him. When he revealed to them that he had gotten bitten, they started like choking and throwing the food up. And he was screaming, "Tainted meat!"
Which character was this? I forget.
It was the dude who was
this kind of early? I think I remember that.
Nah, this was like season 5.
what's the black woman that was in a relationship with the redhead big dude? You know what I'm talking about? It was her brother.
Yeah,
That was a horrible description.
But that was wasn't that Sonequa Martin Green? Didn't she play that character?
Yes, her brother.
She got killed off the show because she went to go work on Discovery.
Oh, that's why she got killed off?
Yeah.
Oh,
she was like, she took a new job. She was like, yeah, no, because a year, I think like a year or two later, Discovery came out.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah, that's right.
Because her death I remember her death being kind of random. I was just like, no explanation for it. It was completely unnecessary, and it was because she got a better job. Speaking of Discovery, that's coming out soon. But we are coming up on an hour.
Boy Steve.
We got some DC news that we want to go over real quick for the DC fans out there watching. JBM, sir.
Well, cool. Did you want to play it?
Yeah, we're gonna play the video, but you were pretty hyped about this.
Yeah, one highlight from that clip. James Gunn said this very important, very important. He said storytelling is always king, so that gives me hope. That right there gave me hope.
Well, we're gonna play the clip. We're gonna play the clip, and then we'll read the comments. Let people comment, because I don't know if everybody's seen this video or not, but we're gonna play it right now, and we'll have a little discussion about it, because I'm on the fence about getting excited for the DCEU. I want it to be good, but I'm not like sold yet. Like, I need to see some quality content coming out the studio and from James Gunn.
Let's do it.
We got 8 to 10 years worth. They have an 8 to 10 year plan: film, TV, and gaming.
Oh, gaming was included?
CEO of DC. Hey, everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. It's one of our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love, that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action.
I like that part.
The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker. And this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU.
The true
This is
beginning.
called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan.
This
We
is
have a few
interesting.
other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple
Terrestrial.
of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all
Do
of
y'all
our
know any
primary
of those?
DCU characters.
No,
The
no,
Authority are a
don't know
group of
who these
superheroes
characters are.
who think the world is broken.
Well, I like
and
that
they wanna
they'll
fix
interact
it
with
by
all the
any means
prime DC
necessary. I think it's
characters.
a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with
I like
all of the
that.
inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line. And so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him.
I feel like that guy that plays
Basically, a
Homelander
superhero
could play
story
Booster
of
Gold.
imposter syndrome.
That's
on
a great
daily
casting.
basis. One of my favorite
That's a
comic series
great
from last year
casting.
was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents. Whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing,
like
the
that.
last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although
this
it's
one I'm
totally
looking forward
outside
to.
of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So not a bad list, right?
No, there's a couple things that stick out to me in that, and it's
Which ones?
one of the things is them establishing a DCU
And a
So
DC
a-
Elseworlds.
and a DC Elseworlds, firmly establishing two separate universes.
Canons.
One where things can they can be a little bit more flexible as far as the types of stories that they tell, which is the Elseworlds story. So the things like the Batman fit into that, and other stories that they want to tell, maybe even the Batman's own
It sounded like Swamp Thing
universe
was going to be one of those Elseworlds
Could-
stories.
right
Because
could
it said it's
possibly,
outside of DCU, but still feeds into the rest of the DC.
and it gives them wiggle room creatively, because now they can tell stories that don't necessarily fit into the DCU the way they want them to. If it's a good enough story, it can fit in Elseworlds, and then they can figure out what to do with it from there. So like I really like that. Second thing, them having the voice actors for the animated stuff retain their roles for live action or vice versa. I like that. I wish that that was what Star Wars and Disney would do a lot of times in their content, especially Star Wars, because
That's an
a lot of
attention to detail that like
it
studios just aren't
matters.
doing. You know,
It
it matters.
matters because when you establish a voice with a character and that character gets recast in a different medium like live action or animation or vice versa, right? You kind of don't latch on to the character if you follow them in that original uh medium. So like for instance, the Grand Inquisitor in Obi-Wan Kenobi, that was very jarring to me because he's voiced by what's my man? Not Jeremy Irons.
Steve's got a point here too.
I kind of feel that way, Steve, on it. The only reason why I'm okay with the actors crossing all formats is because it will literally be the same exact character from within the same
Yeah.
universe. It's not
Same villain,
it's a
same
different
attachment.
Batman. It is the same exact Batman. It is the same exact Supergirl who you're going to see across the different platforms. So I'm okay with that. However, I do think that voice acting does deserve respect. And I would hope that, if they have some, what did he call it? Outer universe?
Elseworld.
Elseworlds.
If they do any, newer animation that's not within the new DCEU, that at least they keep their core voice actors, or bring on new voice acting for that too, because I do think it's strange that especially Disney likes to go for big Hollywood names when it comes to like
voice acting, animation.
but sometimes OG voice actors are voice actors for a reason. So, and if I could also say, I'm excited, Coop. I know you aren't excited, but I'm excited. And the reason why I'm excited is because I have been complaining on screen for the last 2.5 years about how DC keeps making stuff that's not connected to anything that they're doing. They keep recasting people and starting new projects when old projects aren't finished yet. They're filming movies that are garbage before they started filming. And then once the movie is filmed, they recognize, wow, this is really bad. So we're just not going to put it out. Like that's a hot mess. So I can at least appreciate that they're doing what we've been asking them to do since Iron Man 1 came out.
Yeah. I mean,
she is upon us.
I'm going to wait for them to deliver some content first, like before I get excited. Like I think that this is the right decision, and strategically this makes sense as far as storytelling goes and continuity, but they still got to deliver on the storytelling and good stories, because it can have continuity and the stories can still be terrible.
I still think Peacemaker is one of the best superhero shows I've ever seen. In fact, Peacemaker was just good. Forget the fact that it was a DC show. It was just fantastic. I'm still mad that they released the first 3 episodes, because I felt that the first episode of Peacemaker was so strong. Like they could have just let that one cook by itself and we would have still watched it all the way through. So if Peacemaker is the standard, because that was James Gunn project too, then I'm okay with just trusting him and seeing where everything else goes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too optimistic about the 4 movies coming out this year, because I don't know what's up with those. But at the very least, that he said it's gonna start with the Superman movie, I'm gonna let him cook.
Yeah, he said he's writing that one. So, and I think it's gonna be a younger Superman. I think they're gonna start young.
I'm not being negative. I'm just I'm being
just void of passion. So.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm the same way with Star Wars right now. Like I nothing. I'm not going to get excited about any announced projects till I've seen it, because while it sounds good, like I mean, same thing happened when honestly, same things happened with Star Wars, like it happened with DC. Like there's been a lot of misses, like where it's just not, the plan is great. Like, okay, let's consolidate, let's figure out what we want to do, what's going to be considered canon, what's not going to be considered canon, but they still have been real 50-50 on the delivery. So like that's where I'm just being hesitant, cautiously optimistic. Like I'm not just going to get overly excited about something because the planning of it sounds good. That's what I did with Star Wars. That did not pan out well. So that's where
The
I'm at right
difference
now.
is in the creators and who's the creative lead. Because like every Star Wars project that's been Filoni and Favreau have been successful.
Yeah,
And
true.
so with James Gunn, I feel like this. I'm comfortable, so I'm just waiting.
I also appreciate that we're getting characters that I have no idea about. I was telling
Yeah, that's refreshing.
JM, like I'm a big Marvel head. My father and my uncle were big comic book guys. Marvel. My dad is a big Star Wars fan. Not that he didn't read DC comics, but I don't know all of the characters like that. I'm excited for what's the joint creature?
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos.
That just sounds fun, don't it?
Right, the Authority, and then also Booster Gold. I don't know anything about those characters, so I'm excited to just sit back
I
and
want to
see
take some shots with Booster Gold.
That group sounds like they kind of sound like the Watchmen. To me, they sound very similar to the Watchmen.
You can look them up. I know that so now that I know about the Elseworld, I'm excited for that because the Joker is part of Elseworld. The Batman's part of Elseworld. The Swamp Thing, which is a dark horror story, is part of Elseworld. So it feels like Elseworld is just dark content, and that's I'm loving that.
So they're going to keep the lighter stuff within the DCEU.
I'm thinking. I got an inkling.
And I mean, like what I also like there's possibly
What was I looking up? Oh, the Authority.
We'll get more R-rated content with DC, that's for sure, than we will with Marvel, because I don't think we'll ever get anything R-rated with Marvel. Not with the current
movie or show bad.
Yeah, like I just don't see that happening under the Disney umbrella. But like with the DC side, I think we'll get more PG-13, like leaning R, like the Batman. Like the Batman felt more like it was closer to R than PG-13. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think we'll get more of that type of content that's a little
greatest
bit more
superhero movie ever made.
More grounded.
PG-13?
Yeah, I think it
was a PG-13.
To the limit.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's an edgy 13. I mean, but the thing is, there's a lot of flexibility in PG-13. Like it's not as rigid as some people think. PG is rigid. PG-13, it's like your minimum is 13. You go from 13 to
if there's any nudity in the movie, it can't be PG-13.
Right. So like,
but panty and bra is not considered nudity unless it's excessive in multiple scenes.
Why that's
at that point they would call it excessive nudity. Excessive. Authority.
Yeah, PG-13.
Wow,
I just looked it up.
Basically, an anti-hero version of Justice League. Okay.
You had me second guessing my PG-13 rating, but it is PG-13. But yeah, I mean, you can push it for sure.
That's to the limit. That means there's a rated R version of that movie. They need to put it out. I want to see.
So these anti-hero Justice Leagues, they're gonna be interacting with the main DC characters. That'd be interesting.
I also like the Green Lantern
TV
movie.
series.
I
feel like that's gonna be great. The way you described it, like True Detective.
Sure. Yeah, that intrigued me because that could be very good, and especially like, yeah, that could be really good. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. The project I'm looking forward to the most out of what was just announced, because that's like right up my alley.
Also,
I-
it's a
Swamp Thing,
mystery. They can get kind of dark with that. I would hope they would.
like if they can
Yeah.
pick up some the tone of the Batman, but put it in like in a Green Lantern format, because I mean they are
Very
the space
grounded.
police, like the Lantern Corps of the space police. So if they can make a detective movie like True Detective, like it's very gritty, grounded, and like serious, like man, that could be really good. That could be
Like a
really good.
X-Files type True Detective
Yeah,
story. That'd be wild. But
yeah.
he said it ties into the larger DC story, so that makes it even more interesting. 'Cause-
Random. How do y'all feel about the Joker 2? Do y'all have any interest in that at all?
Negative.
I'm not into musicals personally, so I'm just
Yo, the
I-
fact that it is a musical has bothered you from the moment they said it. You have just not been happy about the fact that this movie is a musical. Like musical or not, I
Yeah.
don't care about it. But you are not feeling the musical part of it at all. If it
I'm
wasn't
not.
a musical, would you be interested or still no?
I would still be interested, but I'd still be wondering why. And the only justification would be if the second one plays into some bigger thing at DC, and it doesn't. So I'm not interested.
I'm
The
not
first one was perfect. It doesn't need a sequel.
I'm not
So-
interested because Harley Quinn and the Joker get on my nerves. I was just having this conversation. I just hate them so much as a couple. It don't make sense. I don't want to see them on my TV. I'm tired of this volatile relationship. This man clearly does not care about her, and she's just chasing him all around looking weak. It annoys me very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
they
it.
get on my nerves.
But I like Lady Gaga as an actress, though. But I'm not excited about that movie. So I'll say this, they better have her looking strong. Actually, I mean, this man is mad mentally ill. Like, how can he even commit to somebody? What is this gonna be?
They're just crazy in love. Beyonce and Jay.
I'm
The
not gonna
Carters
watch
of the
it.
DC universe.
So,
Oh, happy
I'm
Black
not-
History Month. Shout out Beyonce. Shout out to everybody trying to register for these tickets. We're gonna be out here. I'm gonna be out the country, which is gonna be in New York, but that's fine because I'm gonna go see her someplace else.
how much does tickets cost?
No prices have been announced for
2,000.
the US yet, but in Europe, they've priced the tickets out to from $75 USD to like 300 USD. So that's the prices over there. I don't know what they're gonna do in the US
Oh,
yet.
that's reasonable.
That's
I'm
not
thinking the
bad.
price would be like
Well,
Yeah, I'm
the-
thinking they like and
The problem with concert tickets is Ticketmaster will put them all up and then resellers will snatch them up and then put them up at a higher price. So like all these years people been spending money on tickets. That's not what Beyonce was getting. Resellers were making more money than she was on her own concert tickets.
they've got to get a handle on the bots, because I mean that's been an issue online shopping and period. I mean Nike also got in trouble with that because
Good.
them putting out limited releases of sneakers, like people were just putting like basically bots in the market to purchase all of the shoes and then they would resell them. Same thing happened with the graphics cards. Like this is an issue like just with online shopping. When anybody does any type of limited release of anything, people just use like bots to purchase like mass quantities before anybody else can get their hands on them. And then the scalpers like they can go on eBay and resell these things for 3-4 times what they paid for.
Well, for the concert, I haven't actually been able to buy tickets yet. She did this thing where you have to register as a fan first, and everyone who has registered as a fan may or may not receive the opportunity to purchase a ticket. So it's going to be like a lottery. So I entered for Miami and for New Orleans, and I hope I can go see her in one of those cities. I really, really, really want to see her in New Orleans. Like that would be.
that'd be a dope show in New Orleans.
What? Oh, Bourbon Street gonna be lit. I've never been to New Orleans. I want to go so bad. And that's her last. That's supposed to be the last show on the tour. Woo. If you watching this, which I'm sure you aren't, but just in case somebody you know might be, please let them know Imani registered for New Orleans and she would really like the opportunity to buy some tickets. Like
When's the date? When's the date?
September 27th. If it's a Thursday, I ain't gonna be here. Sorry, Gumbo. I don't know what day of the week it is. I'm just letting y'all know.
Is this year?
Yes.
20. Oh, okay.
September
Cool.
27th. I'll say you better
Um,
plan your Airbnb in advance.
Star Wars Celebration.
Or
Let me
hotel.
answer this question. Are they going to live stream it? Yes, it will be live streamed. Is anything that they are live streaming what
It's
you
on a
actually want to
Wednesday.
see? Probably not. Oh, that mean that's this the reality of Star Wars Celebration now is that they're not going to live stream any of the content that they showcase on the show floor. They're going to keep that behind closed doors and whatever um marketing, material, promotional material that they want to put out, they'll put out around the same time. So if it's like a trailer or something that they reveal at Star Wars Celebration, they'll put that out. But as far as them live streaming the full panel, those days are over. It's over. Just so if you want to watch a live stream of Star Wars Celebration and actually see the panels, you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna have to save up and buy some tickets for whenever it's in your local area, or if you want to fly out to Europe. But just FYI, like that's just how they're going to run things from now on. George Lucas is not in charge anymore.
How you gonna
Blackpink. Is that the K-pop?
Yes.
Amanda, you're muted. All right.
You could register as a Blackpink stan, but I can't read Twilight. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that covers it, man.
Can I just say, the Creature Commandos, that sounds really cool. Now I didn't even know this, but also like shout out Viola Davis. She did not get nominated for her performance in Woman King. Pretty much.
Oh, that's wild. She didn't get a nomination?
She didn't get I didn't see any nominations for her anywhere at any but especially not at the Oscars. That was a fantastic performance and I'm sick. It's well deserved. I can't wait for that movie to go to streaming so more people can see it. But I do love that we're going to get to see her as Amanda Waller on screen a lot. Also, in the comics, Amanda Waller got some fire suits on, and I feel like we've only seen her in some basic J.C. Penney gray, black, and maybe a purple. I want to see that hot pink suit that they used in the joint. I want to see some better suits.
Yeah, I'm with that.
All right, we need to see her looking like that on camera. I'm tired of the white tank top with the navy blazer and the black loafers and the gray pants. We done seen that like 8 times. Every time we done seen her on screen, she had that on. I'm tired of it. Okay, putting my girl in a salmon turtleneck with a lavender suit. Thank you.
I concur.
The lavender. Yeah. I just posted
salmon and lavender is
another description of The Authority. That sounds like it'll be good. Like what's Marvel's got that group with US Agent and
the Thunderbolts?
Yeah, it seems like The Authority is kind of like the Thunderbolts.
That's cool. They'll probably be executed better than the Thunderbolts will.
I was about to say,
Absolutely.
I'm not too hyped about
DC.
I don't
dark content.
I don't see them being that edgy on the Marvel side of things. So with like what the Thunderbolts should and could be, because they've already said that they're going to water down the Daredevil. So
I'm definitely not watching.
I just don't see
how. I plan on reviewing that show. I'm just letting you know now. Juju's not.
It's man, yeah. Their TV shows are. I don't know. But anyway, as far as the edgy content goes, hopefully the DCU can fill that void. Because we need some more something that can appeal to people in their 20s, or some that a more adult audience can really gravitate towards, and not be necessarily catered to a more general audience, which is what Marvel and Disney is wanting to do with all their properties. So, yeah, that's it for this week. We'll be back a week and a half.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now.
That's the 16th.
Every 2
On the
weeks.
16th.
I'm glad I said that out loud. I almost bought tickets for Ant-Man.
Oh. When does Ant-Man come out?
I think Ant-Man comes out that day.
On the 16th?
Am I tripping?
Yeah, let's get a release.
Yeah, that Thursday is when it comes out. Okay, well, I guess I can't see it that night. All right, glad I thought that. Dang, I'm gonna miss out on the bucket of popcorn at Regal. They'll do a special popcorn bucket and we can hear you, JBM. They do a special popcorn bucket and a cup, and they usually have it on that night. Dang, that boy Steve will be here on the 16th.
Well. We could do the 23rd. Because then that'll give us time. Okay, so 16th. We're gonna stick to 16th. Because then we won't be able to talk about it till the 2nd of March.
We can always do a special.
We can do a special.
But correction. We could talk about it March 2nd, but February 23rd, I'll be in Utah on a ski trip.
Okay.
So
Copy that.
8 p.m. I will likely be icing my legs.
So all right, so we'll have a follow-up.
So we'll do a show on the 16th, and then maybe we could do like a special that weekend if JBM is not too jacked up.
Yeah, depending on our
we'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Because we don't want to let too much time pass before this comes out. Man. Kang gang. I'm not telling y'all right now. Listen to me. I'm not rooting for Ant-Man. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm not rooting for Ant-Man. I'm rooting for Kang. I'm letting everybody know that right now.
It's Black History Month.
I am not rooting for Ant-Man. I do not care.
I think Ant-Man's gonna lose in the end of this story and to open it up to a bigger Kang issue.
Celebrating because I need Kang to be Kang.
He'll have his Thanos moment.
We need this. Kang gang.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever is also on Disney Plus. Watch it.
Oh yeah, true.
I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, and I would like to watch it again. I think I got to see it twice in theaters. I would like to see it one more time.
Yeah, so check that out.
Roller coaster.
I can take us out.
Yep, take us out.
Well, thank you so much for watching, y'all. As always, please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. In the description bar down below, please join us on Discord and buy us some coffee. As always, wait, that's what I was. Dang, I got to get back to this. I have to write it out. I have to write it out. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch at Certified Gumbo. I think that's it. All right, the next show, I promise I'm gonna have the outro down. Okay, it's been a minute. I'm gonna get it together. I think I'm gonna watch some previous shows to get a script. Okay, because it's starting to make me mad now. Like I was ready, I amped myself up and then I fumbled it. I don't like that, but I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna stop talking.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, thank y'all.
It does make it exciting. That's for sure.
Much love.
Yes. So no new news. Oh, I was on a Star Citizen podcast.
You were supposed to do that before I do the outro.
I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
What's that?
What's that?
What did we forget?
I asked you if you're ready for me to close the show, and you said yes, and then you started talking about Star Citizen. You were supposed to do that before I do the outro.
That's out of order, man.
You're right. I forgot, but I needed to plug because it was.
Plug away.
So Space Tomato 2. I'll put the link. I'll drop the link in the chat right now. If you want to watch it, it's about an hour and a half, but it's a really good conversation about Star Citizen. So it was an honor to be on the podcast, to be invited on by Space Tomato. He's one of my favorite content creators for Star Citizen. So definitely go check that out. If you feel so inclined. Let me copy the link and paste it. And there it is. Go watch that. leave a like, subscribe, and follow him, and all that stuff. And we love y'all. Appreciate y'all for joining us. And as I always say,
Valentine's Day.
happy Valentine's Day for sure, because we will not. Well, no, well, technically it would be past. Yeah. So yeah, as I always say, peace, love, blessings, and may the force be with you always.
Heartbeat.